These are the 1993 Orion Vs. The first Orion Vs in New York City Transit. Now their fleet numbers range from 101 to 316. 101 to 196 originally featured 5-digit fleet numbers and were numbered as 93001 to 93096. But unfortunately, the maintenance computer systems couldn't handle 5-digit fleet numbers. So in 1995, they were renumbered from 101 to 196. Now let's go through the list of depots we got in New York City Transit's first Orion 5. So 101 to 150 were delivered to Yukon Depot, while 151 to 172 were delivered to Castleton Depot. 173 to 196, along with 197 to 232, along with 291 to 297, along with 299 to 300 were delivered to Casey Stengel Depot. Well, last but not least, 233 to 290, along with 298, along with 301 to 316 were delivered to Kingsbridge Depot. 173 to 232 were later sent to Mother Clara Hill Depot. Then were transferred to Amsterdam Depot when Mother Clara Hill Depot closed for rehabilitation in 2008. Then were sent to Gun Hill Depot when Amsterdam Depot got canned due to budget cuts. While 233 to 255 were later sent to Castleton Depot. Then were also sent to Mother Clara Hill Depot as well. Also, 101 to 172 featured suburban-style seats and were mainly used on express routes in and out of Manhattan, though they often showed up on local routes as well. So this particular order of Orion 5s was pretty unique. For example, 101 to 290, along with 298, as well as 301 to 316, originally featured the Detroit Diesel 6V92 engine. Sure, it's the same engine that's featured in older TMC and GMC RTSs, but whoa, no, you guys are in for a big surprise. .291 to 294 were delivered with first-generation Detroit Diesel Series 50 engines, which in my opinion sounds the best in an Orion 5. And it sounds like this. .295 to 297, along with 299 to 300, were delivered with Cummins C8.3 engines, which in my opinion sounds really cool, and it's also pretty rare. Here it is. Now, a lot of you bus and transit fans can and will say that the Orion 5s with the 6V92 engine sounds cool, but I don't. Honestly, I think it sounds like shit. I mean, just listen to it. It's very bizarre how the RTS sounds a lot cooler than the Orion 5, despite being powered by the same engine. Well, this is because the RTS has the Allison V730 transmission, while the Orion 5 has the Allison HT-V747 transmission. It's very interesting because the Orion 5s in Long Island, Canada, and Utah sounded a lot cooler. That's because those were built between 1989 and 1992 and either had the more common Allison HT-748 transmission or voice transmissions, along with roof exhausts, while the Orion 5s in New York City had street exhausts, which gave it a lot more bass, and were built in 1993 with newer and rather rare configurations. But I remember just hating how they sounded. I remember the first time I even heard a 6V92 Orion. I remember being 2.5, walking with my mom and my aunt up 96th Street and Columbus Avenue, and I remember seeing one on the M7, and it stopped at the light, and as we walked closer towards the bus, the light turned green, and I heard this. I remember I was like, oh man, is it the bus making that sound, or was that the car behind it? But sure enough, it was the bus. And I remember once I got a little older, I started making fun of them. I remember saying things like, ooh, that bus sounds sick. That bus sounds like it has a cold. That bus sounds very congested. And I was so glad when they got repowered by Series 50. Even though I did like the Cummins powered ones, those sounded cool. Anyway, prior to being repowered, many units were given roof exhausts, which gave the Series 50 a much bassier tone, complete with this very nice and deep distinctive moaning sound. Here it is. Now that sounds so much better. I personally think the Series 50 will always sound good in these Orions. But hey, that's just me. But to all you guys that think I'm crazy for disliking the 6V92 Orions, all you guys can just shut the fuck up because I'm tired of hearing your shit. If you guys think they sounded cool with the 6V92 engines, fine, good for you. But unfortunately,
it doesn't matter what you think!
Pretty much, yeah. Anyway, the units that stood out from this order the most were 240, 246, and 247. That's because they later featured gold LED Hanover destination signs. I mostly saw and rode these Orion 5s on the M1, M2, and M7, back when they were at a Mother Clara Hale depot. And this is also back when I was living in West Harlem, though I did also ride them on many Bronx and Queens routes as well. These were the first buses to help successfully diversify the MTA New York City Transit bus fleet, and also helped to push out the remaining GM and flexible new looks. Like the 1990 and 91 TMC RTSs, towards the end of their lives, some were later sent to MTA bus to help bolster their fleet, to JFK and College Point Depot, while others were sent to other various depots citywide up until the very end. It is very sad to say that these buses are now retired, but luckily, 191 is preserved as a training unit, while 101 has been preserved in the museum fleet under its original fleet number, otherwise known as 93001. So these Orion 5s are gone, but will always be remembered as New York City Transit's first Orion 5s. So with that being said, this is Kal-El Johnson thanking you guys for watching.